Hello, my name is Selena Schulz, and I am planning to study English in hopes of becoming a book editor. I've always had an affinity for words, and I adore taking pieces that others have written and working with the author to make their intentions more clear. Really, I just want to have the patience to sit with the text until it is the best it can be. And I guess that's a great place to start because patience is clearly already a skill I've identified as necessary to being a book editor. I have to remember that I'm going to be working with real people, and the work I'm creating is going to be catered to diverse, human audiences that I must be cognizant of. I doubt it will be an easy job, but it will be a rewarding one, and I'm super ready for it. On the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, it says that editors must also verify facts before publication. I'll come back to how I learned to do this recently, but just now I definitely have. Even more so, in parallel to patience, is the need for communication, because I must work with writers with the intention of helping them to succeed. In my eyes, this takes a kind of self-sacrifice and focus out of my own little bubble to have compassion for others. The most obvious skill, but perhaps the most important, is the role of copy editing in this job. I think it's viewed as a monotonous task to scrutinize text with the sole goal of correcting grammar, punctuation, and spelling mistakes, but it is so essential. When mistakes in these areas are made, the message is hindered, and that's a terrible reason not to get your point across. I look forward to paying attention to detail for this purpose. When taking adolescent psychology, I will admit that I have been tested in several ways. On the CABE, Committee of Associate and Baccalaureate Education chart, it calls out the need for adaptability and defines this trait as the ability to adjust successfully to change. I have been accustomed to MLA formatting for many years now because of my intense focus on English classes in pursuit of that editing career. Therefore, the APA style of citations took me by surprise. However, using the Purdue OWL website and the resources provided by Professor Hughes, I studied what needed to be changed and did my best to remedy any mistakes before and after each submission. There will be no two pieces that I work with as an editor that will be exactly the same. I must learn how to take the skills I have and bring them to the new project, all while having an open mind, willing to change and learn. The second skill I want to address is project management. The prospect of being a book editor, however enticing, has always scared me a little bit simply because of the sheer size of the projects I would be taking on, like books. In the APA guidelines for the undergraduate psychology major document, the 5.2 outcome is refining project management skills. It goes into detail on finding resources that may aid you while still following directions to ensure project completion. Even this assignment in itself has required many different steps before I could put it all together. A book might be daunting, but if I take it one step at a time and use the resources provided to me, I can be like a successful undergrad psych major and manage my projects well. Next, I'll be going back to the need to communicate with authors while in partnership on their work. The CABE chart identifies a few social skills that are accurate here. These include, of course, communication and inclusivity as well as leadership. I will strive to make everyone I am in collaboration with feel needed, because they are. At the same time, it is important to me to maintain leadership and delegation skills so the team can effectively work together and get the publication out into the world. Yet another skill is the need to use technology, practically an unavoidable task considering the age of the world we live in. When I mentioned attention to grammatical detail earlier, I failed to mention my profuse use of the program Grammarly as a proofreader. I feel that my competence in using this program aligns nicely with the 5.5 guideline on the APA document, which calls on students to use appropriate technology for their tasks. Nonetheless, it is still critical to remember that Grammarly, nor any other technology, takes the place of a human. I still often find mistakes that the program didn't catch, and that is why it is a level of competence that is necessary to kind of fact-check Grammarly's own work. I don't plan on letting it replace me, but I will appropriately understand its value in my workplace. Lastly is the need to verify the facts stated in a text before it's published. This has been a skill I've come to know quite well over the course of my adolescent psychology class. All of my critical thinking assignments and discussion posts have required research and citation, with points taken off my grade if I simply speculate and wonder about the themes and ideas. This course has emphasized the need for evidence, and I am extremely grateful for that. On the CABE chart, the skill of critical thinking calls on students to be proficient in statistics and other areas of research in order to understand both social and technical systems. As an editor, I cannot let my author guess at numbers and data they want to include. I will need to encourage them to do their own research and then be ready to fact check when it comes to that stage in the process. Becoming a book editor is still a few years away for me, but the prospect of a true career nonetheless frightens me. Completing this assignment and taking a more bird's-eye view at the course gave me a moment of reflection and a breath of fresh air. I think I might actually be more prepared for the job than I thought, so thank you for that.